Hey guys, how's it going? All right, we got ourselves a fresh new tutorial video. Today we are working on our tree pose. Okay, so as always, I'm going to show you what the pose looks like, and then I'm gonna walk you through how to get into it, and then we're gonna flow through a couple together, okay? All right, awesome. So this is our tree pose. There's different variations of a tree pose, so I'm gonna walk you through, I'm gonna show you each one, all right? Awesome. Okay, so first one is here. Next, you could come up a little bit higher on the leg, right there. And then our beginner one is gonna be right here with our big toe on the ground. This is gonna be the easiest of this posture. Okay, so let me break them down for you. Like I said, this one with your big toe down is going to be the easiest of this posture. Hands at heart center is also going to be the easiest. This is a great place to start for my beginners. So, side note, wherever you place your foot on your leg, you want to make sure that it is not on a joint. So you're not resting your heel on your ankle bone. You're not resting your foot on your knee bone. You want to make sure that you're either on the calf, you're on the inner thigh, you can also be on the upper thigh like this, or the big toe is on the ground. If the big toe is on the ground, it is okay if the heel kind of touches or if you can kind of feel the ankle bone. You just want to make sure you're not resting that foot. So my foot isn't resting on my leg, it's simply right next to it. Okay, I'm going to switch legs. All right, so we're gonna start with our basic, with our beginner, and then we're gonna work our way up. So right here, I'm in my tree pose. So to be in a full tree pose, I'm gonna show you from the side. You wanna make sure that you are here. So notice that my knee is flush with my other knee, meaning you cannot see my other knee. This knee is flush with my hip, so they're in line with each other. This is where you want to be for your tree pose. So what this entails is having an open hip. So basically your hip is here, not here. If you notice the difference, so you don't want your foot here, you want it here. So this is a closed hip, this is your open hip. Again, let me show you from the side. So we've got open, not open. Notice the difference. Not open, open. So this is something that you're working towards. So let's say you start your tree pose right here, but you're like this. Do you see where my knee is? My knee is pointing towards you guys rather than pointing out. Show you from the side. So this is your tree pose. This is not your tree pose, and then this is where you want to be. So again, notice the difference. So the reason why I'm pointing this out is because if you are able, let's say you're like, okay, I'm in my tree, but your knee is like this, you're technically not in your tree pose. You're not engaging the proper muscles, you don't have the proper alignment. So if getting here is where you want to be, start here. Once you're able to find your balance with the big toe on the ground and the hip open, that's when you move to the next phase, which would be sliding the foot up the leg. You always want to check in, make sure, do I still have that alignment? Is my knee still open? Is my knee still in line with the hip? So the knee that is up is the same hip that you want to have the alignment with. All right. So I'm going to switch legs. Okay. So like I said, you can start here, move your way up to here. When you're here, you want to make sure that you're able to keep the hip open. Hands stay at the heart center. All right, so now let's talk about some muscle engagement. So when you're in your tree pose, obviously you are on one foot So this is going to be a balanced posture, but it's going to require a lot more attention than being on 2 feet, because when you're on 2 feet, obviously you have that balance. You're able to balance your right side and your left side with each other. But when you're here, you've got more on your right side than you do on your left side. So now for engagement. So we're gonna start on our right foot. So that means we're floating the left foot. So right leg, you wanna make sure that the toes are firmly planted in the ground. So you don't want them curled up. You don't wanna have a foot that is up like this, that's arched. You wanna have a nice flat foot firmly planted into the ground where you can feel the bone of the big toe, the bone of the pinky toe, the heel, and the big toe all pressing down into your mat. So that's where you're gonna start with that engagement right there. Then from there, we're gonna work our way from the ground up. From there, you're going to engage your calf muscle. From there, we're gonna engage our quad muscle, which is automatically going to engage, I'm gonna show you from the side, which is automatically, when you engage your quad muscle, it's automatically gonna engage your hamstring, which is automatically gonna engage your glute. So now I've got my big toe up, so I'm in my tree pose. Then from here, we're going to stand up as tall as we can. So let me show you relaxed and engaged. So here I am, I'm relaxed in my tree pose. Now I'm engaged, relaxed, engaged. Notice the difference between a long spine and a relaxed spine. Engaged, not engaged. And notice, let me show you from the front view. Notice the difference. So here I am, not engaged. Here I am engaged. You can tell the difference between here, my body is very relaxed. My legs just kind of like blah, blah, blah. But then when I engage, I'm standing up taller. And when I stand up taller, it's automatically gonna make me root my foot a little more firmly down into the ground, which is automatically going to cause me to have to engage my standing leg. And when you engage your back, your spine, it's automatically gonna make your core strong. I know I tell you guys this all the time. Yoga is 90% core. If you do not have a strong core, chances are you're gonna be very wobbly in your balance poses. You might be even wobbly in poses that require you to have 2 feet on the ground, like our Warrior 2, which is what I posted last month. So, you know, when you're doing those core exercises, or if you come to my studio classes and I'm making you do core work, know that it's not to punish you. It is really to help you have a stronger core so you can get deeper into your yoga practice. Okay. All right, so now that we've talked about our alignment, we've talked about our muscle engagement, we're gonna talk about our gaze. Okay, so I'm in my tree pose here. I'm fully engaged. My left foot is rooted firmly into the ground. I've engaged my calf, my quad, my hamstring, my glutes, my core, and my spine. So now I'm gonna take my gaze out in front of me. I'm not staring, I'm softly looking at something. Trying to imagine as though you are looking at something that's about this big around, and you're just kind of noticing everything within that, 12-inch diameter. So again, you're not staring at anything, you're just kind of noticing a group of things, if you will. So your gaze can be out in front of you, or it can also be, this is another good thing for beginners, to shift the gaze down. I don't mean down like this, I mean down and out. So down and out about 5 to 10 feet in front of you. So that way your gaze is still out, like I said, but it's down on the ground. The higher up your gaze goes, the more easily you're going to lose your balance. So like I said, for beginners, even for intermediate, just start at the bottom, start at the beginning. So take the gaze out and down. So now you're hanging out here. You've got your gaze down. Okay, we've discussed our gaze, we've discussed our alignment, we've discussed our muscle engagement. All right, so let's practice a few, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with the right leg. So starting with the right leg means that our right leg is gonna be our standing leg. All right, so first let's find our mountain pose. Your mountain pose is gonna be standing up nice and tall. I'm gonna walk you through this flow so you can either do it with me or you can just kind of watch along and then we'll flow through it one more time on the other side, okay? So we're gonna start in our mountain pose, standing up nice and tall. I'm gonna keep my hands at my side, just for the sake of, we're gonna start in beginner mode, okay? So my hands are gonna be at my side. I'm going to find both of my feet planted very firmly into the ground. Remember, we're trying to feel the big toe, pinky toe, bones, the heel, and then the tip of the big toe pressing down into the earth. Then from there, I'm gonna stand up nice and tall. I'm gonna engage my calves, my quads, my hamstrings, my glutes, my core, and then extend my spine and squeeze my shoulder blades together. Open up that heart nice and big. Beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna take my gaze out and down. From here, I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Your next inhale, start to root your foot, start to shift your weight into your right leg. So maybe just come up onto your left tiptoes. Awesome. All right, so from here, we're gonna take one more big inhale and exhale. Find your focus, find your balance. Next inhale, find a one-legged mountain. So your left foot is going to float. I'm gonna show you from the front view, okay? Our left foot is floating. Nice job. And then from here, we're going to take our tree pose. I'm gonna start with my big toe on the ground. Once my big toe hits the ground, I'm going to focus on my alignment first, standing up a little bit taller, feeling my leg engage from the ground up, and opening up my hip a little bit more on the leg, on the tree leg. Your tree leg is the leg that's floating. And then I'm gonna take my hands to my heart center. Now that I'm here, take a couple of breaths. Find yourself in the pose, find what feels good, find what works for you. If you're here and you're like, okay, this is easy, I like this. Okay, so you've got two choices. You can either try to travel the foot up the leg, or you can stay here and perhaps let one of your branches grow. You're like, okay, maybe you let your other branch grow. So now you've got both branches blossoming, beautiful, big, strong branches, nice, strong tree. You're standing up very tall. You've got all of your muscles engaging from the ground up. And then let's try to move that foot up the leg if you have not already. Nice job. Now that we're here, see if you can open up your hip a little bit more. Make sure you don't want that knee pointing towards the front. You want it open to the side. Nice job. And relax, come back to your mountain pose. Awesome job. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other foot. All right, so now we're on the left side. Left leg is standing. Find your mountain pose first. Nice and tall, plant those feet into the ground. Engage the legs from the ground up. Big inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. One-legged mountain. Start to shift your weight into the left side this time. Maybe you come onto the right tiptoes. On an inhale, find your one-legged mountain. Now you're here, maybe you're wobbly, maybe you're like, whoa, okay. Find your gaze. Now that you found your gaze, come back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. Check back in with your muscle engagement. Tree pose. Starting with the right big toe on the ground, unless you're not a beginner, you're intermediate, or you're advanced and you're ready to just hop right into your tree, hop into your tree. It's a little windy in here today. I'm swaying a bit. So find what feels comfortable for you. Remember, it's going to be different on this side than it was on the other side, especially if you're right-handed. Primarily, most people are right side dominant. So a lot of times when we do things on our left side, we're like, whoa, you know, it just completely throws you out of sorts. Or you might be vice versa. You might be right side dominant, but you know, or you might be right-handed, but you can just kill it on your left side. So find what works for you. Don't expect whatever happened on the other side to happen on this side, good or bad. When you're ready, begin to travel the foot up the leg and take that option to grow branches or keep the hands at the heart center. Nice job. All right, let's try one more time together. Or if you were just watching that first round, then let's try the first time together. All right, let's find our mountain pose. Inhale. Root yourself firmly, exhale. One-legged mountain, inhale. Left foot comes up. Stay for a round of breath here. Tree pose. It's your choice whether you want the big toe on the ground or if you want to take it to the calf or maybe even the inside of the thigh. Remember, the higher up on the leg you travel, the harder this balanced posture is going to become. The more you're going to have to think about muscle engagement, alignment, and keeping that hip open. Awesome job. Give me one more round of breath wherever you are, whether you're falling out or staying in it. Just breathe. One more inhale. Mountain pose, exhale, left foot plants. Round of breath here, inhale. Exhale to root. One-legged mountain, inhale. Right foot comes up. Tree pose, exhale. Same thing, big toe on the ground, big foot on the calf, or maybe the inside of the thigh this time. Once you're there, check in with your alignment, check in with your muscle engagement, find your gaze. Remember, if you can't get this on the first try, it doesn't mean that you're not good at it. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, that you're never going to get to do it. It just means you need to practice more. Remember, yoga is a practice. Practice makes progress. So the more you try, the better you're going to get. Some days you're going to be amazing. Some days you're going to be meh. Remember, we have to take the good with the bad. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Mountain pose. Inhale. Awesome job. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, you know me, I'm completely open. A lot of you that come to my class, you give me tons of feedback on these videos and I love it. So if there's anything that I skipped, forgot, didn't make sense, don't ever hesitate to reach out and let me know. Send me email, tell me in class, text message, whatever works best for you. All right, I hope you have a great day. Thank you.